Amazon has been making some major changes lately, and honestly, it feels like they're destroying grocery deliveries for both drivers and customers. If you've been doing Amazon Fresh or Whole Foods, you probably noticed how things have changed or have even gotten the email saying they're going to start adding non-tip eligible orders to your routes. Many drivers finish these blocks early, especially on Amazon Fresh. These routes can be done in under an hour and a half, sometimes even an hour. That includes pulling the bags from the refrigerators or the shelves, loading your car, and delivering all the stops. Usually with Amazon Fresh, you're not going that far, especially if you're working in a metro area. Now, Whole Foods, on the other hand, completely different story. You could get sent to the end of the world, easily using up your full 2-hour block just driving between the stops.
Now we got the tips for both of our Whole Foods routes that we have done. Now for our first Whole Foods route, we got $71 total for it. That is $42 base pay and $29 tips. I want to give a reminder that we drove a total from home to getting home, okay? 82 miles.
The difference is very crazy. Whole Foods routes are usually way more spread out, but the pay doesn't match the distance anymore, at least not for me. What's the difference between the Amazon Fresh routes and the Whole Foods routes? Amazon Fresh has a better routing system. The stops are typically close together, probably because they have more orders, so they're able to optimize the routes a lot better. Whole Foods, on the other hand, has fewer stops, but a lot more driving. However, there is another key difference between the Whole Foods routes and the Amazon Fresh routes, and that's typically that the Whole Foods tips are a lot higher than the Amazon Fresh tips.
It was a 2-hour route that started at 10:30 and was supposed to end by 12:30. I did not want to leave you guys hanging, so I waited to get the tips for this route. You have to wait 27 hours in order to get the total amount that you got from that route. The base pay for this route was $54. The tips were $49, making this route a total of $103.
But I do believe that that advantage will start to disappear. Amazon seems to be shifting on how the deliveries are going to be distributed. Amazon has sent out an email to drivers explaining that non-tip eligible orders will now start to be included in the grocery delivery routes. This means that on top of your normal tip deliveries from your Whole Foods or your Amazon Fresh routes, you will now start delivering extra orders that don't include any customer tips at all. Amazon says they're doing this to improve delivery efficiency and streamline the customer experience. In reality, what it means for drivers is more work for the same pay. This also reminds me of the other big change that happened earlier this year. For the Amazon Fresh stations, they changed the procedure for the drivers to pick up. It used to be that you would go there and your car was ready to go, you would check in, then roll your card out to your car and be loading up your car within 10 minutes max. But now, a lot of stations, drivers have to pull their own bags and their own orders just like at the Whole Foods stores. It might not sound like a big deal, but if you've ever done logistics, just imagine having to walk around the warehouse and pull every single package for your route. Except now, it's refrigerated groceries, sometimes 30 or 40 bags total. It does add extra time, especially when the pay hasn't even gone up. This is also one of the main reasons people preferred Amazon Fresh over Whole Foods. The cart was ready, it was quick, and you would actually finish early, and that advantage disappeared. Many drivers might have not seen that change yet in their area, but it will end up coming because it's a huge advantage. This takes away more work from the Amazon employees inside so they could have the employees do something else. And this will also help them get a lot more orders done faster because they don't have to do the part of loading the cart up. It's really funny to think back on because Amazon Fresh was some of the first Amazon Flex routes I've ever done. It was within my first week of driving for Flex, and man, it was definitely a learning curve. Every single one of the routes had 40 bags, and this was back in 2021, by the way. The base rate at my Amazon Fresh station, I'm going to show you guys a screenshot right now. It was $34 for 2 hours plus tips. I used to do as many as I could in a day, but I'll also show you another screenshot which shows the tips were not that great. Most of the routes, at least for me, would be done within the hour. And the reason I stopped doing them was because the tips were low, and they were consistently low, by the way. And this is back in 2021, so I can only imagine now because many times people do not want to tip now, especially for a service that they've been receiving for over 5 years. For me personally, Whole Foods became the better option. If I was going to do grocery deliveries, I wanted to do the Whole Foods through Amazon Flex. Even if it does take me the full 2-hour block, I at least know I have the best chance of getting solid pay from the tips. I also look at it like this. Whole Food stations are like the same day stations in logistics, and Amazon Fresh is like the .com stations in logistics. The difference is that Whole Foods routes can send you anywhere within those 30 miles, let's say. So you never really know where you're heading until you get the route. But with Amazon Fresh, they have like a set service area, and like 70% of the time, you know where you're going to go. You know the general direction or the area that you could go to. They're going to be blending these non-tip orders into our regular blocks and not increasing the pay to make up for it. Instead of getting those 2 to 3 decent tip orders on a block, you might get 1 tip order and then 2 system added stops that are completely unpaid from the customer side. And this isn't the customer's fault, by the way. That's where this shift in distribution is coming from. Amazon is trying to balance their delivery costs by spreading low-paying stops across more drivers. Amazon definitely knows that drivers finish early, and that's why they're starting to add more work. In the past year, we have seen a lot more packages on these regular .com station routes, on these same-day station routes, and also random stops that weren't even supposed to be on your route are typically on every single one of your routes. There will be that last stop that is 5 to 10 miles away that doesn't make any sense. The idea is to squeeze every single bit of labor they can from the drivers without increasing the pay. And if you think about it, finishing early isn't good for them, it's good for you. So the idea is to fill your block with as much work as possible to try to make sure they get every single ounce of labor they can out of you. Now, this program might work well in the beginning, but as time goes on, it will shift. And I think everybody knows what I mean by that. It might be a couple extra orders on your Whole Foods or Amazon Fresh block, but as time goes on, you might get there and only get 1 tip eligible order. And then you get 7 to 10 stops that are all just regular logistics packages. But the thing is, many people that do these grocery deliveries don't like to do the logistics. That's the reason why they stick to the grocery deliveries. It's what they think works best for them, and many people see the tip incentives depending on where they're living. I'm going to remind everybody, this is not a you need to quit gig work, you need to stop doing Amazon Flex. Amazon is like every other company in this space. They're always going to try to find ways to save money. And if drivers are willing to do more work for less, Amazon and every other company is going to take advantage of that. It's never going to be about fairness, it's always going to be about profit. Even third-party logistics companies that handle Amazon packages face the same problems. UPS drivers as well deal with unrealistic expectations. Most delivery jobs in the United States are unforgiving, and gig work is no exception. Something that many people don't really talk about is the difference between being a W-2 employee versus a 1099 contractor. Contractors are easier to take advantage of because you don't get benefits, you don't have employee rights, and you don't have job protections. This is why states like Washington, specifically the city Seattle, has been stepping in to protect the gig workers. They're passing new laws to try to make sure companies pay drivers fairly and give them full transparency on earnings and wait times. The truth is, though, these companies rely on financial and education. A lot of people see gig work and think, wow, this looks great. I can make my own money on my own time. But they don't realize what's happening behind the scenes. The wear and tear, the unpaid mileage, the lack of benefits. And if you don't understand the numbers, you won't ever see the problem until it's too late. The best thing you can do is always multi-app and diversify your income. Don't ever rely on just one platform, because once they start cutting rates and changing the system, you'll be stuck. Most people either do Amazon Logistics, the package side, warehouse, or same-day station, or grocery deliveries like Amazon Fresh or Whole Foods. If grocery routes start paying less, more drivers will jump to the logistics side, and that just means more competition over there as well. You always need to look out for yourself. You need to be trying different apps, experiment with different block times. Don't ever get too comfortable, because with this work, the one thing that's guaranteed is change. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts about this. To the next route.